Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about writing and how I stay inspired as a writer. Um, for me, it's been a bit of a journey because I've always loved reading and writing ever since I've been a child. I've always loved being in nature. I've always been quite an internal person, but what I didn't realize is how important sharing your work is and how important it is to share your inner voice. I think like as we grow up, we're told to silence the voice within us, and sometimes we don't often express ourselves as fully and as vibrantly as we could do. So writing has actually taught me a lot about my internal self and my external self, because I've had to be an observer and then I've had to push myself to move past my comfort zone and actually share the words that I have written. If you are looking to write more, I would say to start a journal, because for me journaling has been the best way and tool and outlet I have used these like past couple years to like actually express what's on my mind, to be truthful with myself and with others. It's just like a great tool to just have it with you, to put down all the things that are within, and so you don't bottle them up, you're actually releasing them onto paper. And what comes with that is just this really big relief when you can just get everything down onto paper. You can just feel completely free from what is going on within. And it's also helped me to it's also helped me to allow my writing to just be simple, to not overcomplicate the process. So if you are looking to write more, I would say you could start a journal. If you are, maybe you're into more novel writing or short fiction writing, I would say make observation your key tool. You need to be observing everything and everyone around you to write characters and storylines and plot lines, because everything around us is inspiration. We can find inspiration anywhere. I truly believe that, and I truly believe that we have the power to open our minds up to stories, stories that want to be told. So for me, I wrote a poem called Nighthawks, which was all about the night, and it was all about being a night owl and my experiences in the night and how my perception changes in the night. And it was quite a successful piece because it got published in a literary magazine called Amarullah in Cyprus, where I'm from. And I feel like the reason that piece was probably my most successful piece is because I was an observer in that time. I was just observing what was going on around me. I was observing my feelings, my good and bad feelings. I was just observing everything around me to the point where I started to write almost as if I was this character and I was in this mindset of this person. So when you allow yourself to really create stillness within your mind and to see what is in your surroundings and use that as inspiration, you can really like change how you write. If the moment you feel like you're not a writer, you feel like you can't write anything, maybe just keep like a small journal where you just go into nature, or you go into like a public place and you just write down what you can see, what you observe, the colors, the smells, using the five senses. Maybe try and challenge yourself and write a poem with the five senses, or write a poem about everything that you can see around you, because that is how that you will start exercising that writing muscle. I'm still a beginner too, so I have to push myself sometimes to like go into writing mode. But oftentimes I don't force it if I don't feel like it. Like if I really don't feel like writing, some people have like a schedule where they get up in the morning, they will write for like 20 minutes and then they will go on with their day, or some people write best in the night. I don't really have that. Like, inspiration strikes just whenever it comes to me. Whenever I feel inspired, I just take out like the notes in my phone, or I get my journal, or sometimes I just can see a poem in my head and then I will like jot it down later, and it stays in that like lyrical like format, or that like poetry structure, and it's okay because I know it's in my head. But sometimes I can't do that and I have to just write it down. And then sometimes I have this character come to me, or I have this plot line, or I think when you're a creative person, you just constantly are being like influxed with like ideas and messages, and like sometimes it can be overwhelming. So if you find that you sometimes become too overwhelmed with a lot of ideas and you don't really know where to start, you have like ideas for like 10 different books, I would say start really small and just focus on exercising your writing muscle instead of worrying about a character's name, or where your character's going, or what they're doing. I think like exercising the writing muscle first is a really important way to just grow as a writer, to grow as a creative person. I would love to read you Nighthawks if I could, because that might inspire you to, I don't know, write about the night yourself, or just write about your experiences in like a poetic way. So let me just grab it. A glimmer of silver cuts across the metal car bonnet, glowing up my face with the wet artificial lights outside. My body is taped to the seat. The reflective world outside orbits us as we drive in silence. I want to utter something out, maybe to make sense of what is occurring in my reality, but I don't. Instead, I wait. A hum of sound buzzes from the car machine, filling up the space that isn't already full with a feeling of anticipation and newness. We are intersecting at every second of our lives, without a sense of consciousness. Every stranger, every late-night bar, the care in our friends' eyes, the classroom daydream, it's all constructing like the behind-the-scenes of a movie set. Except nothing we think of is planned. We can't even control the outcome anymore. Since the start of time, we have been evolving into what we believe is our authentic truth. But depending on time and circumstance, we are shown that we have a choice, that we have always had it. This is an encounter that I know will linger and loom, but it is one I am not dependent on. You are a lover of the night. You see what the day is too shy to reveal. I move differently once I am out of the car. I was shielded from the moon. I am reading stories about suburbs in the colors of their eyes, each a new insight into the mood of an American dream. Their lives exist as characters and as blurbs on the back of a book page, but something tells me it's much more real than that. I gaze through the diner window. Here I am on the outside looking in, the orange hues beaming down onto their glossy skin, and I watch it more now. As if they have been plucked from nowhere, as if a higher being has flicked through all of time and selected the look of these strangers and entered them by one another into a timeless realm. This is where the sweet mix of my innocent and unknowing separates me from asking why. Yeah, so that was me taking my experience and just, I guess, putting it into a poetic format. I explored a lot of poetry techniques, a lot of like literary techniques, but to be honest with you, when I'm writing, I'm not thinking about structure, I'm not thinking about how it's gonna sound. I just let it flow out of me. Whatever words want to come, they come, and I just roll with it. I think that's what you've got to do, is you can't be too particular about wording when you're in the process. I think that comes in the editing process. But if you are just really open, like a really open channel and vessel for creative guidance to come through, you can write something that means something to you and goes deep within your emotions and produces like a creative piece of art. Like, I think that's such a beautiful thing, that like our minds are so powerful that we can take from our experiences and our feelings and our heartbreak and our emotions and our happiness and our experiences and everything that we have, we can take that and make it into a poem, a story, an artwork, a painting, a novel, anything. I think that's such a powerful thing. So if you are an artist or a creative person, remember how powerful your process is. Remember how powerful your mind is. How you can just literally put your mind to something and work hard towards it and achieve it. Like, how crazy is that? That's so mad. We are so powerful when you really think about it. And our highest, greatest self wants us to know that power. We've been taught to suppress our power. We've been taught to ignore these intuitive urges and ignore these intuitive feelings. But why? Like, for what reason? We should be able to follow our guidance, follow our truest self into the most amazing things. So this is a message to you to just release all tension in your body, in your mind, release all inner critic, inner judgment, any self-doubt, anything that comes up. Just ignore it and be with yourself and allow yourself to produce something amazing, whether it's a brushstroke, whether it's one sentence, whether it's a poem that just has no meaning, that's just words. Just exercise your creative mind, because when you start doing that, you start to tap into what I call the creative flow. That's what my last video was about. When you're tapping into creative flow, you are at one and you are connected with so much around you. It's almost like when you're creating and you start to get so into it that you become live. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like when you're creating and you tap into this like abundant flow and you lose track of time, you lose track of yourself, you lose track of your to-do list, you lose track of overthinking, all these things that completely just go away. That is when you're tapping into the creative flow, the universal creative flow. That is what meditation really is tapping into a creative flow, tapping into a flow state. So if you can just allow yourself some time to do that, you will benefit from it so much, I guarantee. Be open. That's the message of this video. Be open to your inner voice and be open to others. I hope that helped. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can just comment. I think my comments will actually turn off. That shows how long I haven't used YouTube for, but thank you. Hope you have an amazing day. Love you. Bye.